I think, be being honest if I sat here and said, oh yes, we're making all of these improvements and transport is getting better. I don't think I can say that. It's the biggest problem we face, if we're honest. And a lot of our time, part of our time has been spent dealing with the chaos that came with the timetable change last year, which rumbles on. We then have the kind of never-ending debate about HS2 and Northern Powerhouse Rail, as important as that is. I suppose where I kind of come to 2 years in is, even if we got all those big projects, it isn't going to make transport better here in the next 15 to 20 years.
We've made huge progress, but is it enough? Is it exactly what we would do if we had all of the powers available to us? If, for instance, is it what we'd do if the piece of legislation, the Bus Services Act 2017, wasn't so bloody complicated to try and navigate around and to try and see whether we can use that as a tool in our armoury that we can start to pull those different things together? Probably not, but what we've been dealt with, we are desperately trying to see whether we can improve the experience for passengers in the Liverpool City region, whilst as a backdrop to this, the bit that falls outside of our remit, the stuff that's happened on Northern, short-forming, the fact that Sunday services are still as appalling as they were months and months ago, that's a real frustration because we want more control over that.
Northern transport has been an afterthought for all Secretaries of State and always for the Department for Transport. So last year kind of brought that out, didn't it? And I think if there's one thing I think we can say we've definitely achieved together, which is we've put Northern transport higher up the political agenda than it was before. I think we both say, yeah, we definitely feel we've done that.
The bit that we've done fairly poorly in the Liverpool City region over many years is that we haven't looked far enough ahead. So we look at electoral cycles, for instance, too often. And we need to think strategically and long term about what the needs of a 21st century Liverpool City region will be. And that's why we've got a station commission. It's headed up by somebody that I think both of us have lots of faith in, him for his football allegiance, me because she happens to be a brilliant chief executive of Everton Football Club, Denise Barrett-Baxendale, and she's pulling a team around here so that when there's an opportunity, whether through this government or a future different type of government, whenever they say there's some infrastructure money, that we are ready to access that pot of money. And we've lost out, in all honesty, we've lost out to the likes of Greater Manchester in the past. We should have had a tram system by now.
Grayling earlier was saying that expenditure on transport per head was more in the north than in the south because TfL and Crossrail don't count. Whereas Rotheram, you've said it's far below. So how can two opinions be vastly different and who is right?
Mark Twain said, lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Is that what he said? Sorry.
Yeah, he did. He said,
Steve.
What?
You guys should have been here earlier.
the Southerners, that's
You?
what he said.
You're joking.
It's 3-1, at least. All the independent assessments say for every pound that we get, the South gets 3.
He said you're spending more per head on transport in the north.
Oh my God. Well, let's just be clear. It's not right. So
It's not right.
It's very wrong, actually.